Hey, Elyse, what are we doing here? Well, I mean, I guess we're talking with everybody here, but something happened this weekend? We did something cool this weekend that we want to talk about?
Summer Game Fest happened this weekend, and we were able to check out some games behind closed doors. The big one of which, for me personally, was Resident Evil Requiem. RE9? Are we calling it RE9, or is it just Requiem?
Renine.
Renine?
I've been calling it Renine pretty much everywhere.
Resident Evil. So they showed us some pre-recorded gameplay, and that we are now able to talk about.
Yeah.
And they also provided us with some screenshots from that gameplay that we saw.
Yeah, I would say the biggest, kind of one of the biggest surprises of the whole weekend was the announcement of Resident Evil 9. Even though they did a bunch of stuff earlier in the show where they said, don't expect Resident Evil 9.
Yeah, they had a little bit of fun.
But yes, they had a full gameplay demo of the game.
Which now we can tell you about what we saw.
We can tell you about it. I wish we could show it to you, but we do have something kind of close. We have screenshots. And so we have a lot of screenshots, and so we figured we would describe what we saw in the demo using screenshots not from the demo, but some of them are close.
It's nothing revolutionary. You know, you're going to see everybody on YouTube doing this, okay? Yeah. But you're going to get our stamp on it here, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is Grace.
So this is stuff you saw in the trailer itself.
This is shown in SGF.
She's a big mess, works at the FBI, but then her boss wants her to go on some sort of assignment at a hotel that she has a connection to.
I would disagree. I would say she's not a big mess. I would say she's a woman who has a very, very important and stressful and demanding job, and she's doing her best.
I would disagree because we see all the other cubicles. They don't look like hers. I think they want us to think that she's a mess and overwhelmed.
She gets more work than anyone.
You can
tell by the glasses.
Maybe. Either way. So the thing that the trailer kind of ends on before it shows a bunch of glory shots that you figure out what it is was her sweating profusely, tied down to a gurney. Sweating like a ham. Tied down completely in a whole new location. She's stressed out, and that's where the gameplay demo actually started.
Yes. What we saw. Grace Ashcroft is her name. Don't forget it.
Don't forget it. You won't forget it. And the camera spins around. You realize she's hanging upside down from a gurney, blood being drawn from her body.
The gurney's suspended from the wall, right?
I think it's just vertical.
It's vertical.
I think it's just turned vertical, why would they make a gurney like that? But also, I don't think that it would probably make it harder for you to get blood. Thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because of gravity, right?
Works. You would think it's now.
She's got this there is this drip where she's being
she's tied down.
Juiced.
She thinks quick because she sees that part of the apparatus is glass, and so she kind of uses her cord that's attached to her to break, and then she manages to pull it in. She cuts herself free of her restraints, and then because she can't do a sit-up, that was my big criticism. She couldn't do a sit-up to be able to unhook her legs, so she has to knock the whole thing down.
I see. Okay, that's your problem with it. This woman who's probably exhausted, who knows what condition she's in. She's got blood draining from her body as we speak. She uses the cord for the blood to get this vial over so she can break it. And your problem is she couldn't do a
It's a fair point. I had to hang upside down one time for a Rooster Teeth thing, and it was miserable. So I take back my point. She's still a mess, though. So she's kind of looking around the room, and the first thing you notice is that it's not like a normal place. It's very old and kind of...
It feels like old rundown.
Rundown, but also elegant.
Yes, in its heyday, wherever she is would have been a very, very nice place.
Lots of crown molding.
Yes, lots of crown molding.
And the game is first person, so that's an important thing too. Is it's in first person. Once she breaks out, it shoots in. You can see there's a bunch of O prompts that you can interact with things and do stuff.
And location-wise, you and I both had mixed signals. I thought it was some kind of fancy manor.
Yeah.
And you thought it was a hospital.
It was a hospital. We were both wrong.
We were both wrong. It's a hotel.
Which happened uses both in the past. But yeah, so she doesn't know what's going on. There's a lot of her kind of external monologue going, I don't know where I am. And so she just kind of is able to go out one door and she starts exploring the hallways of this place, and it's a real creep show.
And whoever was driving that demo did some really fun stuff with it because, it's a house of horrors, hallways of horrors essentially. So she's blindly going through this. She'd turn down this hallway. She would see that it looks really like terrifying, and then she'd turn down the other hallway at this crossroads, and it would be even worse.
It would be worse.
So then she'd turn back to the other one. It was really fun.
Yeah, it was very slow and creepy in the exact way that I don't play these types of games. But ultimately, it's so dark there, so she can't really navigate. She tries to go to this kitchen area, and a ball rolls out, or like a bottle rolls out, and she's like...
From down the dark hallway that she can't see the end of.
Yeah, she's like, I ain't messing with that. So she decides to go the other way, and then there's like a long shot, and everyone in the room was like, what is that?
It's so intentionally done.
Yeah.
That you see this statue at the end of the hallway, and you can't quite make out what it is.
Yeah, it turns out it's a horse. It's pretty, it's weird to have it in this place, but it's a horse statue. That's not going to hurt anybody. But she's creeping around, and she finds a door that has like a cherub-like design on it. Mm-hmm. And
it's locked, of course.
It is locked, and there's also a gate. She sees a gate to like the rest of the hotel, but she can't get through.
Could be her escape.
It could be her escape. There's a missing fuse.
There's always a missing fuse.
There's always a missing fuse, so now she has to go find this thing. They're in the gameplay, there were a couple like fade to blacks where I think they were skipping some of the puzzles, so that way you wouldn't have everything spoiled.
Look how sassy this cherub is on this.
Cherub's got it going on, yeah. Cherub's, stick me in there and turn me. So basically it picks back up. She's found the cherub key. She's able to get into the cherub room.
Yeah, there are some intentionally done edits and cuts in this, just for the sake of...
And so she finds in the room that there's it's also very immaculate and strange, but there is a fuse behind glass and a screw. And she goes, I'm smart. I bet that I have to find a screwdriver to get into this. So she can't do that. But what she does find is a lighter. Mm-hmm. And so now the lighter, you think, okay, well, that allows us to get to the dark areas that we were at before. And so she goes back to explore that creepy kitchen.
Yeah. Goes
into the pantry. Big jump scare.
Big jump scare here. It's Resident Evil. Okay, there's a virus. People are infected, zombified.
Yeah.
So of course we still need to have the element of zombies in this.
Yeah.
So, and this part got a big laugh.
This is a part. The pantry door falls open, body crumbles out.
Yeah, clearly.
It's been there for weeks.
It looks like it's decomposing, super infected.
Chunks missing from it.
Yeah, like black veins in the face. And she reaches down and checks the pulse.
Yeah, and goes, he's dead. He's dead. Everyone laughed.
Yeah, everybody laughed.
But it's Grace,
Yeah, it's fun.
It's Grace.
Wait, hang on. She's got a lot on her mind.
She's got a lot on her mind. But got a big laugh from everyone. I think it was supposed to be a moment of levity because then immediately after that, as she's like, oh, what's going on here? Without any fanfare whatsoever.
They also did a really good job of disarming everyone watching, too.
Yeah, this long hand comes out, grabs the body, pulls it up, and then we see what this thing is, and we're going to tell you about it right after a message from the Answer For It podcast.
What?
Answer For It is a freewheeling trivia podcast with an emphasis on the trivial.
It's hosted by me, internet funny woman Elyse Willems. I come up with obscure and nonsensical questions.
And we answer them. And when we don't have the answers, we just make one up.
When you're as dumb as we are, it has to be an improv podcast.
I'm James Willems. You may know me from YouTube or the shirtless photos I post online, which by default makes me the most qualified to answer any health science questions you may have.
I'm AJ Locasio, Mario. I'm a voice actor with roles in X-Men 97, Voltron Legendary Defender, and most of my contributions to the podcast are funny voices, but I also know a bunch about old Nickelodeon cartoons, and I will tell stories about Dr. Needleman, my childhood pediatrician.
And I'm Zach Anner, and while I may be both a high school and college dropout, I do have something called a doctorate from Walt Disney World and cerebral palsy. As we all know, that is the thinking man's palsy, so I'm perfect for this.
That's not something anybody...
It's still something everybody says.
All right. Listen, basically we riff on Elyse's questions, going on tangents and tumbling down weird comedic rabbit holes, kind of like this trailer.
We answer anywhere from between 4 and 7 questions in only an hour.
You will listen for the questions and then question why you listened.
If you've ever wondered what listening to an hour of unmedicated ADHD sounds like, Answer For It is the podcast for you.
Any listener that doesn't have ADHD, when they start listening, by the end of it, they will. Look, there's a bird.
Oh, what kind of bird?
Exactly. This is what happens.
Waka waka.
Come for the questions, leave for the answers.
I mean, probably. I do think people might end up having to Google what the answers were to some of these questions.
Get excited and get thinking, because Answer For It premieres Tuesday, April 15th, with new episodes weekly, every Tuesday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
The real friendship is the trivia podcast we made along the way.
Wow. True. He's not wrong.
A nice moment of levity before we get
my
into the
gosh.
real horror show, because Grace sneaks back. We're back at Grace, and she looks up, and then she sees this, like, honestly, one of the craziest monstrosities I feel like I've seen.
Yeah.
How would you describe this thing?
Well, the thing that came to mind for me, and it's not quite visually a comp, but more so thematically and in its vibe. If you saw the movie Barbarian, and you know the thing that is encountered in that,
Yeah.
similar grotesque vibe and imagery of this like gigantic monstrous woman like creature.
Why don't I just show you? Yeah, it's almost, it feels like an iguana. You know, what are a chameleon?
Like giant bug eyes.
It has bug eyes. It almost looks like it was a nurse, but it's been through. It has like stitching that covers its face, but again, like its eyes are like kind of twitching and moving, and it picks up that body and just takes its whole head off.
Chomps it.
Just chomps it down, and then it gets up in Grace's face, which is my face because it's first person, and freaks out. And I don't even remember how she gets... I think she just kind of fumbles away, and then it gets into a big chase down the hallway, which is pretty cool because it has all the stuff that we've known from Resident Evil, where she tries to make her way down a hallway, and then boom, it bursts through a wall.
And she gets swiped at.
She gets swiped at, she takes some damage and stuff like that. But ultimately, she's able to run and hide. I guess it can't go through every door. Maybe... I don't know if it was more scripted or not, but she hides in that cherub room, and she's just like, it's like, what the heck is that? And
Have we
she's hiding
seen
out
the
in there.
inside of the cherub room yet?
The
Fancy room?
I think this is then she freaks out.
yeah.
Yeah. So the cherub room is basically just a chair, and the thing bangs, and you can hear it like moving around outside.
She bangs.
Topical. That's very topical. And so Grace is freaking out, and then I think there's another, at this point there's like another crossfade, because she makes her way back to the pantry where she ran from, into the back room, and there's a little puzzle there where she like moves a crate, and she's able to get up into a box, and she finds the screwdriver. So now she's gonna try and make her way back to this room that has the fuse in it, and the monster chases her again.
Yeah, and also along the way too, we do come across like one or two other infected corpses.
Yeah.
Clearly infected, and
Yeah. There's at least one other thing out there somewhere. So there's stuff going on.
So I guess presumably this is like in Resident Evil a super mutation of whatever
Yeah.
the virus is infecting her.
But she uses the screwdriver to unlock the case that has the other fuse in it. Now she's got the fuse, and of course it's not easy, because at this point the very good demo person looks up and there's a hole in the ceiling and this monster creeps down inside. And so now it's kind of a race against time to get away from this creature.
Which we saw kind of in the SGF reveal trailer, that you saw this sort of like big silhouette of a thing creeping from the ceiling downward.
It moves almost like a salamander too.
Yeah.
It's good. So it's very strange. And when it gets you, it does pull out third person and then show like a cinematic attack on you. But yeah, so it's this, basically that's, the demo ends with her rushing to the gate, getting it in. This thing is right behind her. She gets through the gate and then goes away, but then it goes to black and it doesn't sound like she gets away.
No.
It sounds like something really, really bad happens. So yeah, the other gameplay things, there's like a healing mechanic that they use.
That's not how the demo ends, though.
There is one more thing. They did show one more thing.
And everyone lost their flippin' mind.
Everyone lost their flippin' mind. Unfortunately, we don't have any way to show it to you.
We ain't got the receipts.
But they jump back into the demo with her in the hallway. Then they open up the menu. And they hit a couple of switches here and there. And they change the perspective to third person.
Yeah. At any point while playing, you can switch between first person and third person.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool because I have been okay with both. But when I was watching the gameplay demo, the whole time I was thinking, like, you hear her voice, so much of it, her performance feels like it's there, that it seems strange that I'm not looking at her. But then also I feel like for solving puzzles or for scary sections like that, maybe you want the first person. Or maybe if you're too scared, you might want the third person.
I guess, yeah.
Bit. So I was really excited to see that switch. So yeah, you can switch on the fly. That was something that they were really very excited about.
And it got a big pop.
Everyone was very excited.
What was your takeaway from this reveal?
I mean, I think the tone is great. It feels like it's very haunted house, which coming after Village. Village was like a larger scope and it had regions. And I don't know where the setting is limited to. I don't think there's enough information about it. But this felt like a haunted house game, which was really cool for me. Those feel really scary.
That's what I loved about Resident Evil 8.
Yeah.
Biohazard was that
The Village.
7 Biohazard.
7 was
Sorry, 7 Biohazard was the hillbilly family.
Yeah.
It's our version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's like this terrifying house of horrors, and you're trying to navigate your way around that.
Yeah.
Was this, because it's like, Village, it really like opens things up, and you feel less of that scare of the confinement and feeling trapped and what might be around every corner. Like, I'm really thrilled with this setting because I also think the juxtaposition of some of those really pretty sterile rooms like the Cherub Room versus these hallways and that are, there's like maggots in places and there's stuff falling everywhere, there's debris and things, and it looks all run down, is like a fun, you never know when you open a door what it's going to reveal to. First person when you're pushing the door open is such a hearkening back to Resident Evil 1 with the door loading screens. I think the other thing worth noting is I didn't see, at least in this very small section, there weren't weapons. You could heal and you could run away. And in this section, at least, you didn't have a way to defend yourself. No typewriters.
From anything. No typewriters. Well, I guess we don't know how
yet.
They save. But some of those things could happen in the stuff that they didn't show us. But yeah, so we just wanted to give you our take.
She's an FBI agent. So
she's an FBI agent.
If she could get her hands on a weapon, I'm sure she would use it.
Oh, she'd use it. She'd know how to use it. She'd shoot that nurse monster right in the twisted little chameleon eye.
I think there's going to be a lot more to this game than we think, though.
Oh, yeah. It definitely looks like it has scale and scope, and there's a mystery with her mother. And
we're already seeing, they played a little prank on us during SGF. I think Capcom wants some surprises out of this one.
Do you think we're part of the prank now? By even making this video and sharing this video, we're sharing their pranks.
Played ourselves.
We played ourselves, but they played us first, which means we are now double negative played positive. we played you.
I'm very excited about this game.
It looked really fun. We got cool enough access to be able to see something behind closed doors, and so we wanted to talk about it. And hopefully, you found this to be fun for you. Elyse, any final thoughts?
This game can't come soon enough.
Great. That's a great final thought. For a game that we didn't even know existed and now has a ton of hype. My final thoughts would be, if you enjoyed this video and you want to hear us talk about something that isn't remotely like this at all, check out our podcast, The Answer For It Podcast. The link is in the description. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.